Hi there, I'm Joey,
I'm Jacob.
and we are watching Star Trek for the first time. Last time on Star Trek 11001001, which we learned in between recordings means actually nothing. But whatever. We had binary people and I guess realistically non-binary people because
There were
they said
binary and non-binary.
yeah, they said they're neither male nor female. So there's that. It existed. Today we're watching an episode called Too Short a Season.
Clearly, they were not referring to the length of the show.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. We've got a 26-episode season here. And also, with the way that we're having to record all this, this season, it feels especially long for us, I think. So, that said, though, after this one, we do only have 10 episodes left in the season, so that's kind of cool.
That's crazy sounding.
Yeah. So, all right, we're going to get into post-episode thoughts in a second. Be sure to join us then. We're about to watch Too Short a Season. Gotta say, I didn't entirely vibe with it, but I think it is a great improvement on the typical TOS message of old people have no fucking value whatsoever. I thought this was really good. I loved that last scene especially. I thought that was great. In a weird way, we're kind of doing a reverse Deadly Years, which I find quite funny.
And it was still Deadly Years, just in reverse.
Yeah.
Instead of dying by age, he died by age?
By reverse age, yeah. I was just kind of mad they didn't go all in on making him a child and an infant, and then eventually curling up into an embryo, I guess. Maybe I wouldn't have. I shouldn't have said that. Anyway, it's funny though. I bring up the Deadly Years. I think the makeup in this was worse than the Deadly Years.
The makeup in Deadly Years, I definitely think was better.
Yeah. I mean, again, a Deadly Years has its problems, but I do remember really liking the makeup in that. I thought for the most part it was a much more, as close as you can get, a more realistic portrayal of what these people would look like in the future, and also just didn't look as shoddy. I mean, I get they had to do a little more for this, like they had to literally make a reverse age makeup as well for Jameson, but whatever, is what it is. So I was a little worried at first, though. I was a little worried that it was going to sort of delve into sort of the typical TOS problem of it's weird. TOS has weird sort of views on aging and old people, and among other TOS problems that were fairly prevalent throughout. But I kind of dug this. I didn't love it, mostly because I thought at least the plot between Jameson and Karnas was a little weak. I don't think they set it up properly. Because I remember thinking for a long time, in the early portions of the episode, that I wasn't really feeling the relationship between Jameson and Karnas.
I feel like the episode should have been more upfront about the actual stakes, and I think we probably could have been more invested as to what was happening.
Yeah, the episode was a little more focused on establishing what was wrong with Jameson rather than the actual conflict between him and Karnas, which did have legitimate stakes. Once it was properly revealed that Karnas had the hostages, which I did like your reaction to that when that ended up happening in the episode, because I think the reveal is very, very good.
It's a good reveal, and it's a really good hook once you realize what's happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good.
And the episode, kept me interested enough that I was paying attention. I was able to call it before it happened, given enough context clues.
Mm-hmm. I did also really like the character of Jameson's wife. I thought she was really interesting. She's got this really interesting view on Jameson as a character, where she sees him start aging backwards, and there's this great scene between her and Crusher where she starts lamenting the fact that that he was getting older and he's going to retire, and that they were going to live out the rest of their days together, and that there's going to be finally time for them to relax and look back on their lives. And it was a really sweet sentiment, and seeing that sort of ripped away from her, not through her husband dying or anything. Well, eventually her husband died. We got there in the end, but no, she's more sad about the fact that he is more interested in living that life over again. He wanted to go back and experience that again. sort of I guess Jameson in a way, because we talked a bit about the TOS aging problem a couple times here. I doubt it's meant to be an actual commentary on it, but I found it could be a commentary on it, because Jameson kind of has that view of like, oh, he's useful. He will be seen as a better admiral if he is younger. Actually, I'm just kind of thinking about it now. Do you remember that scene in The Deadly Years? It's a couple scenes really, but sort of the scenes where Kirk like starts like failing a little bit as he ages faster and faster, and everyone kind of has to like tell him, sit back, step down a little bit. I
would definitely recall that happening, because I remember thinking, man, that was in the context of Years, that's a fair assessment of what's going on.
Mm-hmm. And but like in this case, like nobody's done that. Nobody has looked at the older admiral and said like, hey, you should maybe stop. Like he's willing to keep like pushing himself. There's that scene where he like steps out of the wheelchair, and I guess would you call it a wheelchair? I guess I don't know. A chair.
What did they call it? They called it like a support chair. They called it a support chair.
It's Xavier's roller coaster car. Which is really funny now that I think about the Patrick Stewart thing. Anyway, but like he like tries to like get up, and he starts to stumble a bit, and I find that a particularly interesting commentary on a lot of I guess political leaders that sort of like go through that same thing. And nobody has really like said like, hey, like what the message of the end of the episode is like, like it is okay to fucking age. Like it is a natural part of life. It happens to literally everyone.
They did like when they were like when the initial setup of the episode is, hey, we want a terrorist group, they want one specific person to do it, he's 85. They were still like, yeah, send him in. He's got this still.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I just find that really interesting, and actually just bringing that up. Actually, I think I actually might like this a little more than when I first stepped off of it. The episode is a little slow for my taste, but I think for the most part, I actually legitimately enjoyed that.
Like I said, good episode. It does have some faults. Some of it's makeup, some of it's plot hooks and beats. Overall, I think it's a good episode.
It's decent enough. And like I said, if nothing else, the closing moments I think really nail it for me. So yeah, that was too short a season. I think that about does it. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to join us next time when we continue Star Trek: The Next Generation. Until then, this has been Joey Morgan.
I'm Jacob.
Goodbye.